Welcome to today's video. I'm so glad you're here. I have a sketchbook tour for you today. Hi there, my name is Vanessa and I make art videos about a little bit of this and that. If that speaks to you, consider subscribing. Alright guys, we have a sketchbook tour today. This is number 5 on this channel, and I will preface this video by saying that I apologize that not every thing from the spread unfortunately is in frame, and like I said, I'm sorry, but I didn't want to go back and refilm due to of limited time that I have. And the frame is a little bit crooked, so I'm so sorry, but if you don't mind, then keep on watching. It took me quite a bit some time to get used to the sketchbook, and I didn't quite like the paper at first, but I ended up liking it in the end. If you're curious, this took me almost 1 year to complete, and I am starting a new mindset about not pressuring myself to have a deadline when finishing sketchbooks. Just finish them whenever I have the time to. We're gonna jump right into it. So as I showed you, this is my opening page, and I didn't decorate it how I normally do with my sketchbooks, and I ended up doing an outline for my first spread, which I'll show you in just a moment. I outlined it when I first got the sketchbook, and then I didn't fill it in with the media that you will soon see until I was about to finish my sketchbook. So I did the first and last page to complete it. So here we go. It's one of my favorite spreads, the first and the last spread. And it has a quote here, and then a painting of a self-portrait. And so I wrote something here. It says, "Her value is unmeasured, her spirit is unwavered, her soul is pure as gold, her mind is clear as a flawless diamond, her vision is focused on positivity, her presence is filled with good energy, she built her world to be a queen." So I just wanted to do something positive about myself, and I think everyone should do that. Get your mind in the right frame of mind. And this is just completely mixed media. Some metallic pins I used, like these right here. Gouache, my new gouache that I just recently got in my last haul, my birthday haul. What else did I use? Regular gouache, acrylic gouache, acrylic pins, colored pencils, and a little bit of this and that. So I'm quite pleased how it came out. It's a little loose, and that's what I was going for. I was trying not to do quite perfection with it, with a little bit more of expressive qualities, and I'm pleased the way it came out. Now, not every spread is going to be as strong as this one, but that's okay. It's not supposed to be. That's not how my sketchbooks are always. So there's moments where I have strong pieces and other moments, just depending on how I'm feeling, that are not so strong. And then this spread here is done with my, what are these? The Luminance colored pencils from Caran d'Ache. My clean color pens from Kiritaki color pencil, and then these are my Winsor & Newton watercolor with a little bit of dry gouache palette. Here I have my Graphitint background, and then my black wing, black matte. I did the bird, and then I did a watercolor wash on the bird, and gouache for the bird highlights, little bits. This one I did use gouache in different brands, so I have the brands here from Schmincke, Holbein, and Winsor & Newton. And I just did some mixing, color mixing here, and value chart of some calla lilies. These are my ink tints, with a little bit of gold metallic paint in, I believe it's I used my Dr. P.H. Martin's iridescent calligraphy colors in the gold, and I watered it down a bit and did some highlights, or some accents I should say, not highlights, some accents with it. So that was fun. And then this is the third eye chakra I see with clarity. And I use some ink tints here. This is these are of my cats. This is Quasi, and this is Dinah, full of life and sunshine, my sweet babies. And these are mixed media. We have ink tints. I took a gel matte pen to do some accent work, a little bit of color pencil here and there. I think I used the Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2s in places, Kiritaki clean colored pens, and some acrylic gouache in the background. I forgot to put her whiskers. That's okay. I made a video doing this. This was my neglected art supplies in a spread, so I ended up using them, and this is what it looks like. So I have a video of me creating this spread. I'll link it down below if you're interested in watching and if you haven't seen it. This one is of Dinah again, my little queen. It's Dinah in Wonderland. And these are some gouache. I have some water-soluble markers. I think they're my Ecoline markers. Yeah, and then in the background, I can't remember what I used, but the cat is gouache, Ecoline, a metallic gold pen, and I kept it loose. And then I was just playing with different media here. These are my Ecoline for these little suit balls from Studio Ghibli, the Spirited Away. And it says, "We sparkle because we are magical." So I drew little characters from different Studio Ghibli movies, and these are my water-soluble Faber-Castell pencils. So I was testing those out. I had used them in another sketchbook, and I wanted to explore them a little bit more, just do some like shading drills with them, you know, repetition, just to get the hang of it a bit more. And this spread is mixed media, because this is a mixed media sketchbook. I really wanted to try to make each spread using various media all in one, a little bit of this and that. And it says, "I am grateful for these days and moments, recharging and refocusing." I think this might have been during winter break, and I had taken a snapshot of, this is a picture of me. I had a picture that I took during the summertime, and I drew it here. And then this one I think was a picture of me when we went on our little getaway during the winter break to the beach. So Neocolor 2s, ink tints, brush pens, and then one of my Twisbees with some water-soluble ink. And then, so this is that same trip during the summertime that I went to. And this one is of my husband this time. So there's me, and then there's him. And it says, "You bring the sun." My husband's name is Ray, and in Spanish, Ray means king. So he's like, I have him on a throne, because we were in San Diego at a training that I had for work. And we were at the University of San Diego, and they had these big blue chairs, so we took pictures in them, and I thought they were funny because they made us look like children in them, but it was cute. And then I drew palm trees because there's lots of palm trees in California, especially in San Diego. But this is just mixed media. And a little bit of watercolor. Let's see. Oh, and water-soluble color pencils. Watercolor pencils. And this is one of my favorite spreads too. This is of my cat Sunny. And so when we brush Sunny, what my husband will do is he'll remove the hair and he'll make a wig for him. And then I decided to color it green to make him look like an Oompa Loompa because he's a little orange man. He's an orange cat. And this is, I thought this would go appropriate with him because these are ducks that have little tufts on their heads, like these little pom-poms. And we see on our way to work, my husband and I work in the same town. We commute to a different town. We don't work in the same town that we live in. And on our commute on the highway, we pass by this home that has these 3 ducks that have these little poofs on their head. And I decided to do one in my sketchbook because I think they're so adorable. They're both done with gouache, and Sunny, my cat, is gouache with color pencil on top. Alright, so this spread here, I had made 2 videos of mixed media. One that I used this paper with the various materials like Neocolor 2s, Inktense, watercolor, Karataki clean color pens, and a little bit of the gouache, the pans from Caran d'Ache. And then I used my arches using the same media but all put together in one piece, and so I just glued in the arches into the sketchbook so you can see what they look like side by side. And you know, as you know, paper does matter. I like the vibrancy of the color on this one opposed to this one. This one came out okay. And then here I was just playing, this was done in February, I was just playing with some of my Tombow dual color pens. These are water-based. And it says, "We are just fabulous and magically wonderful. Note to self, be kind to yourself and practice self-love. Be your own hero." So I also got some new pins. They're the calligraphy pins. And one is a Lamy, one is a Twisby, and a couple are Twisby, some are Lamy, and then there's another brand I can't recall. But yeah, I was just playing with them. Alright, so here we have some pin work, and I like to put positive sayings in my book and my sketchbooks, my journals, just to keep my mind on positivity, because you know life is stressful and you kind of want to purge and pull out all the negative thoughts that go in your head and replace them with positive thoughts. So it says keep going. I've had a very stressful year this year. I'm not here to complain, but I'm just saying that work year has been very, very busy, very stressful, so I have to keep telling me these things to keep me going. So powerful, strong, majestic, resilient, you know, we are all these things. We possess all these things, and it's good to focus on it. Here comes the sun, little darling, you know, from the Beatles. I love that song. On this spread, I used gouache, and I had set up a gouache palette, and I was just testing it out. So, and I got this new lettering book, and I wanted to try out the letters, which I need to do more of. Like, there's so many things I want to do, but you know, just pace yourself, do it when you can, when you come around to it, but it's there, it's available when I need it. So I have to be gentle on myself and say, okay, I must do this, I must do that. You know, I have to remember, I'll get around to it at some point. I should just write it down on goals and intentions of things that I want to accomplish and just go back to it. When I'm stuck and stumped, I'll just go to the little notebook that has those goals, intentions, things that I want to do, and pick from it. There's an idea. So we have a Luna moth here, and this sort of majestic looking cloud scene, intense moment, resilient. All right, it says, I am letting my pen flow and speaking from my heart. My life has been filled with so many ups and downs, but I stand here today resilient and determined to learn from my experiences and keep going with my head held high. You are brave. Embrace your magic. Keep on sparkling. Take your time. Sweet moments. Remember to keep enjoying life and the sweet moments that it presents. Keep smiling and enjoy the journey. It's not necessarily the destination, but the journey. This is your time in life. These are your special moments. You can't get time back, so enjoy the time that you're given is basically my thoughts and what I want to practice on my mindset, keeping it on that. Okay, we have some gouache here. You can't go wrong when you create from the heart. And here I used, I think this was a Derwent gouache pan set. It was like a pastel set, and I did some of my black brush pen, my Pentel pocket brush pen, with one of my TWSBIs, a water-soluble marker. I think these were the Equaline, or maybe Tombow, that might have been Tombow, and a metallic pen, you know, just a little bit of this and that. This is the glass wing butterfly. They're transparent, which are really, really cool. Grace, elegance, beauty is everywhere. Be present and just look. You'll find nature's treasures. A little loose spread with gouache of my little queens. This is Dinah, my cat, and this is Pika, my little pom. Cute with all the sass, my little sassy girls. These are various water-soluble markers, the Carine water-based markers, not the acrylic ones. And I think there's a little bit, the blue is, and the yellow, the background, are the Neocolor 2s. Inspired by nature's treasures, true beauty. And I did some outlining with a metallic marker. Okay, I don't like the colors. The violet is okay, but I think this type of green just doesn't jive with the color scheme here. And my brush work, my brush lettering is a little sloppy, but that's okay. It says giving my best, but that looks different every day. So as I said, work has been very demanding. I just need to keep reminding myself that, you know, just try my best. That's all I can do, and keep moving forward. All right, so this one is very bright and colorful. Design the life of your dreams. Build beautiful and meaningful experiences. Express yourself. Be true to you. Perfect? What's that? Be free and do what feels right. Just be true to yourself. Make your own rules. Do everything with good intentions and kindness. This page right here I really don't like. I was laying down the gouache thickly from beginning to end, and I typically work in thinner layers, like more transparent as the base, set that as my base, and then work thicker as I go along. But I didn't do that on that, and so this is the result. But that's okay, it's more expressive, and I'm learning to be okay with artwork that is just, you know, not my favorite. It's part of the learning process, it's part of the journey. You can learn from, you know, not doing quote unquote perfect work. Just like I said, what's perfect? So there's no perfect. That's subjective. And then right here, I vibe with kind people, put forth positive energy, and yeah, I appreciate people that are kind, and I try to stay away from people that are not. So that's a good life lesson. All right, and then resilience has been a common word that I use throughout this whole sketchbook, because, you know, we all have that capability to be resilient. It says, a diamond in the rough. I have journeyed paths beyond the range of my imagination could ever picture. My mind is filled with joyful and sorrowful memories. I forged myself into a sparkling diamond. I have become tough and beautiful. And then it says, quest for magical moments. And so this is a picture actually of me probably about 10 or so years ago, and I just added some butterfly wings just to show transformation. Here we have some pins, enjoying my time, you know, on the weekend, just whatever time I had, I was just enjoying, you know, doodling. These here are stamps. I threw in some washi tape, thought that might be fun to add in the mix. And these are my Copic markers. I had neglected them, and I actually used them in this spread here on this bird and that bird, these two birds, and I want to incorporate them because I do have quite a bit of them. Here I have glued in my watercolors that I had purchased in my last haul. So A Gallo Natural, A Gallo Sinopia Core, Ali Kavanagh, her, and some more of the core, her portrait set, and then the Schminke Retro palette. And then this is a black brush pen from Pentel with the very base, the background is the Schminke, if you guys remember this video, this watercolor I used as the back. This paper's not great for watercolor, as you can see. It just doesn't look good, looks like a mess. And then I did some of this line work in gouache just to kind of disguise it, but it still looks like a mess in the background. It says, let your light shine, embrace your inner strength. All right, it says, no need to rush, enjoy, finding my confidence. And so I have the fairies. I made my own version of the fairies from Sleeping Beauty. So I have the red one, green one, and then the blue one. Just mixed media, a little bit of everything. I can't remember what I used, but I used a lot of this and that. Growth, learning to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. Pentel pocket brush pen. And then I use my Ecoline. So I was experimenting with some line work, mark making with my Pentel pocket brush pen, some washi tape. Kept it loose. I like this design. And then these are the Ecoline colors that I used. And then again, that pocket brush pen playing with line weight. Heavy line, thin line, and pressure adjustment. some more of the Eco line. And I think I added water, yeah, in some of the parts. Some I left as is. And then I was testing out Mila pins, and these are the orchid bees. I had watched a special, I think it was National Geographic, and Gausia was the name of this queen bee, and it's an orchid bee. And so I was watching her story, how amazing it is, and I had to draw her. She's really pretty. She's like a green iridescent color, but I just did the line work for her. And then this is Little Miss Dinah. We call her DW. And it just says, "Little boss, I adore you. Mwah. My pretty little girl, full of energy. I love you so much, little one. You add lots of fun and personality to our home. You are a chatterbox. She whines so much." We call her Dinah the Whiner. So that's what the DW stands for. She's very talkative, tiny but mighty. My funny and sweet girl. Alright, and so this is the very last page. I have Inktense and some markers I kind of used throughout my sketchbook these Pentel dual metallic brush pens. I think I hauled this I want to say during Christmas time last year, and I'm getting around barely to using them, and I really do like them for accent work. So I do like to add sparkle to my sketchbook. It says sketchbook complete, but the journey continues. So I wanted to end strong as I not necessarily started. The outline was great. I just didn't know how I was going to fill in the media, and I wanted the beginning to look strong and the end to look strong. But that wraps up the video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching today. I'm sorry I haven't been consistent on this channel. I am doing what I can, and I will try to make videos when I can, but work is my priority and YouTube is a hobby. I know that it's something that I don't have the time to really invest in and grow. I mean, it would be amazing if it did, but I don't, like I said, have the time to work on it. But I will make videos when I can. And the summer is coming up, but I do have some trips planned that I need to recharge and spend time with my family. So that's coming up. Thank you if you're still here, you're still watching. I appreciate those kind people that are out there. Continue to stay amazing. I hope you stay well and have the most wonderful creative day. Thank you for choosing to spend part of your time watching this video. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.